You know, one of the top techniques going today all over North America for smallmouth bass is the little hair jigs, the fluffs. And it's a little inconspicuous little bait, but it's deadly. Probably been responsible for more 4 and 5 pound plus smallmouths than anything in both of our boats. And for me, bait that I started using when I was a little kid, and I feel like for hardcore bass anglers, these jigs really originated up in my part of the world, up around Lake of the Woods and Rainy Lake.
No question about it. I know Norm and David Lindsay, actually, when we were fishing those tournaments up there, 25, 30 years ago, and they were dominating those events, and we didn't realize that at that point in time and what they're throwing these microscopic hair jigs. But there's an art to it, I think. There are some nuances and little things from equipment standpoint, all that to kind of get the most out of them and to get them to do their job. The presentation, and at the right time and place, it is absolutely stunningly amazing to catch really big smallmouth bass, no question about it.
Generally, you're going to get these jigs in 3 different sizes, 16th, 3/32, and an 1/8. That's a 3/32. They're light, and basically the #1 rule I have with these, you don't let them touch the bottom. There's no really reason for these to touch the bottom. You want to almost float these through the water column. That's how you fish them. They're for shallow water, you know, 12 or 14 feet and less. And I like to kind of keep it in the middle of the water column. So if you're in 6 feet of water, I want to reel it at about 3 feet.
One thing that's sort of interesting with these baits is, you know, you might ask, well, where would you fish them? And actually, I really like over various types of flats, anywhere, as Jeff was saying, like anywhere shallower than about 12 to about 3 or 4 feet of water. And as a general rule, what I'm going to do, like right now I'm sitting in about 12, so what I'm going to do is I'm casting into about 6. I'm going to let it down to, reel it down to about 3 or 4 and slowly start reeling it in. But the biggest thing is it's not a bottom bait. It's not. You're reeling it very slow, straight through the water column. A lot of times what I'm doing is actually giving a little bit of a slow twitching maneuver. You know, you're imparting a little shake to the hair and the marabou, and as you can see, it's so lifelike. Even when you don't even do much with it, it's still, that marabou is so lively in the water, you don't have to do much with it.
They can see these things, you know, most of our waters in the north especially are pretty clear, and it's amazing how good they can see these jigs. I've seen them swim 20, 30 feet and come and get them.
And using these really lightweight heads and how the bait is moving in the water column, because it's not really doing that much. Odd thing is, they come up and the bait is moving along so slow and they inhale it, and then all of a sudden you just got one on. Okay. You got him. Head shaker.
We're into something.
Yep.
That's what we're after.
Yep.
Oh, I saw him hooked just on the lip. Usually, best hooking bait there is. They sort of slurp those things up, but those smallmouth start jumping. I don't care what bait you're using. You're not going to land them all.
Some of you may ask, well, when do you use it? Spring, summer, fall. It don't make any difference. When the fish are anywhere between 12 and shallower is where it's really strength is.
That's where it shines, for sure.
No question about it.
Sometimes, you know, you get a nice hot sunny day, you're gonna see smallmouths cruising around. That's when they love to go.
That's a big time. Yeah, when all of a sudden you get that warm weather,
yeah,
and those smallmouths, and a lot of times they'll move up. You get warm sun, and it seems like those fish move up onto the flats, especially when we're fishing really clear water. The fish can be really spooky.
Yeah.
You know, where a lot of other more aggressive presentations doesn't seem like it will do as well at times, but this bait is absolutely amazing. It really is.
One of the questions that I probably get asked the most is, what do you think people ask, what do you think it imitates? What does it replicate? And the analogy I use the most is it's kind of like an after dinner little mint, where a spinnerbait or a topwater is like a steak. They don't always feel like that. That little thing is just an after dinner mint, and if you put that in their face or in their vicinity, it's like, a lot of time I think it's just something they can't help it. They're just gonna...
I think it resembles like a leech or even a bugs in a lot of cases, and a lot of times one really critical time when you have those bugs going, bug hatches, mayfly hatches, even midge flies, and the bite can be really, really tough fishing. and you break this thing out, and it's all of a sudden it's like magic. Oh no, they're biting really good.
Really biting good. Yeah. Anytime the bite gets, you know, pressure, for any reason that the bite gets tough, any number of reasons, that's when these things can really shine too. I can remember when we started going to that Sturgeon Bay Open years ago, and we got on to using these things, and I mean,
that was before everybody was out there. The Canadians came in and just dominated the events.
But it was a lot of pressure, and those fish had seen all the tubes and you know, traditional baits, I think, and you could go in groups, these big packs of boats, and just light everybody up with these hair jigs. It was pretty incredible. But I like to put a little piece of plastic on the shank of the jig head, and this is a new one that we got from Northland, and I've actually got a little keeper on there to hold my little plastic chunk on there, and that's gonna just give you a little bit of body, so the jig doesn't shrink up and look kind of like a drowned little rat. And it also allows you to cast it a little bit farther. I don't like it to really hang out past the hair, but just sort of bulks the package up a little bit.
Yeah, I think that buoyancy too, the one thing that plastic does is also gives it a little bit more mass. Yeah. So what it does is it enables you to fish the bait quite slow.
Floats it a little better.
It really does. Oh, there you go, I was gonna say. I saw him. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, a little largy.
What's it?
It's a little largemouth this time.
Oh, is that right?
We'll take any bass that wants to bite. Fluff mauling. Equipment-wise, you want a longer, softer rod, and that's going to allow you to cast these things and whip them out there. We're both using sort of a medium light action rods. I like 8-pound braid, 8-pound fluoro leader, and that's kind of my setup. You know, fairly small hooks, so you want that sort of softer rod so you're not ripping them out of the...
Yeah, you're fighting and catching big fish on them. One thing that you'll notice that Jeff actually has this really bright colored line. I actually have this really blue line on, but the thing is one thing that's sort of nice with that is you can see the strike a lot of times, because when they come up and they hit the bait, a lot of times what you'll do is actually see it in the bright colored line, and you won't even feel it. They'll pick it up and all of a sudden you'll just see the line jump, so it's actually will telegraph to you that you got a strike.
But yeah, that's about it, really. Yeah. I mean,
How about with the fluorocarbon leader on mine? I know in some cases, if it's in darker water, you don't really need that much, or a rod length, at least 7-8 feet of fluoro.
Yeah, no, I'm the same as you. So I'm kind of like, if I hook my bait up, I want my knot to be between the first guide and the reel. That's kind of where I'm starting my leaders off.
Just where it's at.
Same deal, yeah.
There he is again. There's a good one right there. Look at him. Right. Got him. Ooh, nice. That's a good one there. That's a big one. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Boy, I don't know. Huh? If it's a brownie, he's a good one. Seems like almost not. Could be a pike, I think.
Yeah, it's a big bass.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, here, you can take command of the ship while I land this little runt. Come on, buddy. Come here.
Oh, yeah.
Come here, buddy. Nice. Come on, buddy. There you go. Not a giant, but it's a nice one. No question about it. When you talk about smallmouth bass, at certain points in time, you want to have the hair jig in your arsenal. No question about it, because it is fabulously effective. We'll get her back in the drink here. Ooh.
Nice.